What's going on, nerds? And if you watch WandaVision episode 8, you realize it actually wasn't Agatha all along. It's Wanda Maximoff. And a lot of grief in this episode, man. They took you back. That's why the episode's called Previous On. They took you way back to the Reading back lumberjack with the hat to match. What a great episode, man. So obviously Wanda is in the lair of Agatha Harkness, right? And we get Agatha's. Before that, we get Agatha's origin in 1693. She's being she's about to be murdered by her own company because she was dipping into dark magic that was out her pay grade, basically. Like she's dipping into dark magic, and she was not that high on the totem pole to even mess with that. And the mother of the covenant, which could be her actual mother, but definitely the mother of the covenant, basically just sentenced her to death. And a whole bunch of witches, they threw their like blue witch power on her and tried to drain her life force to death. And what Agatha did was she was on some other shit, and she absorbed their powers and then killed them all. Right? She killed them all. So that just proves to me that she's been doing this for a long time, a few hundred years. In the comics, she was actually burned at the stake during the Harvard witch trials, which is referenced in an earlier episode where she says Ralph, supposedly Ralph's husband, who could be Mephisto, Chthon, Nightmare, but that remains to be seen. That Ralph and her, their wedding date was June 2nd. That was the date of the Harvard witch trials hundreds of years ago. But her story in the MCU, 1693, she almost got murdered by her own covenant, and she murdered them for trying to murder her, basically. And we go to Agatha's lair, where she has no idea why Wanda has this hex going on. Like, what is going on? Why is this happening? How is she doing it? She wants to know answers. She needs answers to why. She's someone that has worked on her craft of being a witch for so long and has mastered a lot of the arts. But Wanda is without thinking, doing things that Agatha can't even dream of, basically, or would love to have the opportunity to. But her spells, she has to cast her spells verbally at times, and Wanda's just like not even thinking. So she needs answers. So what she's doing is she's just really chomping at the bit. Wanda's just like, yo, like, who are you? And then Agatha's like, no, who are you? Like, she really wants to know. So she tells Wanda, like, basically, I try to be nice, and I was patient. Almost got the information out of you from fake Pietro. I mean, Catherine Hahn. I mean, she's fantastic. Like, her acting, her and Elizabeth Olsen, if they don't win Emmys for supporting actress and best actress, respectively, it's crazy. Because this is the best acting I've ever seen in my life. And she's just like, you know what? We're about to go down memory lane. So she takes Wanda's hair, right? She takes her hair, and they're gonna and she casts a spell, and she starts to open doors in the past of Wanda Maximoff. And before we even get into that, what's cool is in her lair. So Agatha puts rooms, right? So basically, that's where only the witch that casts the spells can do her magic. So Wanda's like, she's about to go full Wanda on her, like, where's my children? And Agatha mocks her and is like, where's my children? That accent comes and goes. That shit was funny. But anyways, so Wanda can't do anything for her. She's definitely helpless. Anyways, they go down memory lane. She goes, the first door is Sokovia, and she's with her parents and Pietro, and this is where we find out her love of American sitcoms, and the sitcoms that we basically see throughout every episode. What they're basically based off of. You see them like Bewitched and the Andy Van Dyke Show, like I Dream of Jeannie and Malcolm in the Middle, and what have you. Like certain shows that were on there, like you could see that she was watching them and stuff as a kid, and her family did that so they could learn English, which is cool because it seems like in a war-torn country they were looking to flee at some point. So why not learn English if you probably want to flee to America or some English-speaking country? So that happens. They're watching the sitcom. She wants to watch season 2, episode 21. And young Pietro is like, sitcoms, always sitcoms. It's a cute thing, man. It's awesome. Anyways, real quick, bang, they get hit with a bomb, right? A little missile, and their parents die. And it's the Stark missile that they talked about in Age of Ultron, and which was referenced in the commercial in the first episode with the Toastmaster, or whatever it's called, the toaster that was blinking red. It was blinking, but we come to find out that Wanda, a mutant. I'm just say it, all right? She's a mutant. She's not just a witch. She's also a mutant, and she was able to put a probability X on that missile, and it never went off. So it wasn't defective Stark missile, like it wasn't just a hammer tech. It wasn't hammer tech. It wasn't from Justin Hammer. It wasn't hammer tech. Shout out Justin Hammer in Iron Man 2, man. It wasn't hammer tech. All right, she did that. All right, she saved her brother, and her brother from dying from that missile going off. So her powers were already there. Right, then they fast forward. Wanda's like, nah, that's not it. Let's move to the next one. So another door opens up, and it's when she volunteered to go into the Hydra experiments with not the Tesseract, with Loki's scepter. And she walks in, she states her name and says she's a volunteer. So it was very clear that she volunteered, her and Pietro. So she goes, and the Mind Stone seeks her out. Like it was in Loki's scepter with the blue covering, then it broke out of the blue covering and revealed itself to her, and she could see a vision of herself, maybe in an alternate reality, maybe a future, or just a vision of her with her headpiece as the Scarlet Witch. And then she faints, and just like any the earlier episodes, the security video was edited where she just came in and then she dropped. The bald guy could have been Strucker. It could have been Strucker, played by a different actor, because we know he worked on her with German scientists. So it could just be Strucker played by a different actor, not the same one in Age of Ultron, which is cool. So Agatha understands that it amplified her powers that would have died inside her, pretty much, like would have stayed dormant, but it just amplified and awoken. But she already had the power, so that didn't give Agatha answers. So then she opens another door, and it's the Avengers compound, and this is right after Age of Ultron, and Quicksilver dies, and she's just dealing with grief, and she calls Vision in. She can sense Vision next door. She calls Vision in, and they open up a little bit, and Vision is talking about, he doesn't understand. He never had anybody to lose, so he's just trying to understand emotions, and she's watching Malcolm in the Middle to basically calm her down, but also reminisce about her family, and especially in particular Pietro. And Vision just talks about how grief is just love persevering. Beautiful line. And it just shows their bond, and that was the first time they actually shared like a moment, like a real moment. And yeah, so I mean, I even had Agatha like tear up a little bit, but she didn't get the answers that she was looking for. She wants to know how Wanda Maximoff is doing magic on autopilot. Like, her thing is, yo, you're casting spells miles and miles away. You got people under control. You have their lives played out for them, and you're not even thinking. Like, how are you casting these spells? What and who are you? So she opens one more door to the sword facility, and that's where she went to recover Vision's body. And Wanda, we come to find out that Director Taylor just lets that he lets her in. Like, he lets her in. Like, she's not having it, and you can tell. Like, this is the brilliance of Elizabeth Olsen's acting. Like, she's literally like desperate. Like, she can overpower that whole facility and just go get Vision herself, but she's trying to handle it, keep herself together, even though she is losing it emotionally. She's like, I know Vision's here. Don't fuck with me. I know Vision's here. Don't fuck with me. And so Director Taylor on the phone lets her in. Hey, let her in. And then Homeboy's like, yo, I'm gonna buzz you in. She's like, nah, I got this. Just uses her power, opens the door, and she goes right to the director's office, and they have this brief conversation where he's like, you want to see the Vision? And she's like, I'm his next of kin. He deserves a burial. And he's like, yeah, I'm not going to let you bury $3 billion worth of vibranium, which at the time was 2.6 billion in Age of Ultron. But we'll round it up to 3 billion. We'll add inflation to that. But we're not going to waste $3 billion worth of vibranium, which wasn't theirs to begin with. Talk about sword in the government, but we need a little bit more backstory on what happened in Infinity War, where they were able to get the body of the Vision. But that's for another story. So she's like, Vision is all I have left, or, basically saying, like, this is all I have. Like, I just want my love. And he's like, see, that's it. He was never yours. He's not yours. Bang, stab. He stabbed her emotionally. So she breaks the glass. She goes down and sees him torn apart, just like in the comics, man. If you ever seen the Vision torn apart, it's in the comics, man. They ripped this right from the comics, man. Before he was put together by Hank Pym and became the soulless white Vision in the comics. He was torn apart, and she just, like, the one of the worst and best scenes of the whole episode is her trying to feel him out, like in if you remember Infinity War, and they when they're in Scotland, they're talking about the Mind Stone and him getting signs and messages. Basically, that Thanos is coming, and she's just like, oh, all I feel is you. And then before she has to try to destroy the Mind Stone, he says, you can't hurt me, all I feel is you. So she references that back, and she's using her magic, and she's saying, I can't feel you. Very heartbreaking, and she just leaves. She doesn't take the body. So that tells you Director Taylor was just lying to the masses. Basically Monica Rambeau and Darcy and Jimmy Woo. Because supposedly I want to say Sword already knows that Vision wasn't ever, he ain't taken. Like, we know that. Like, they gotta know that. Like, this is crazy. Like, we knew from the start, though, because he's the director. He can't be authorized to show video. He can show whatever video he wants. So we knew that. Like, we knew he was up to something. But come to find out later in the episode, man, it's going crazy. Wanda goes to her. She leaves the facility, goes in the car. She has a letter or a deed, or basically an envelope with the deed of a house that Vision got for her in Westview. And it is sad. Like, she drives through Westview, and you see like characters like Herb and the mailman and Jones. Herb looks completely different. Like, he don't look like anything. I had to see that a couple times and just realize that was Herb, man. So good job with the makeup during the show. But yeah, man, she goes to this house not built yet, and she sits down and she finally lets the emotions out. And when she lets the emotions out, her powers manifest the whole Westview anomaly. Like, she just loses it. And just like if you see the comic House of M, her house is put together like how House M in the comics was drawn. Like, it's amazing how, I mean, I love the attention to detail to Marvel, man. Kevin Feige is our Lord and Savior in this nerd game, because it was just pitch perfect. She puts the house together. She puts Westview in black and white. So now we're set in the 50s in Westview. Things change completely. And as she's doing that with her red magic, yellow magic comes out and makes the Vision. So that is telling us that she still has the power of the Mind Stone. And she can create Vision. And then once she sees Vision, she's in color. Then she steps into her black and white reality, and they're in her home. And what's cool is that Agatha is sitting in an empty studio, like, you know, where the audience was sit for a sitcom, and she's just clapping like bravo and all that. She finally figured out what was happening. Then she like teleports out. And she gets her answers, and you start to hear the kids, and Wanda runs off the set, and she runs out to outside on the neighborhood, right back into the Westview reality, and she has her kids. Agatha does, and she has like purple magical ropes around their chins and right near their neck, and they are, you know, screaming for help. Wanda's like, "Oh, my baby, my baby, my babies." And Agatha goes off talking about, yo, you was supposed to be a myth. You know what I'm saying? I know exactly who you are. You're supposed to be a myth. Key, supposed to be a myth. She said, you're using chaos magic. Bomb number 1, chaos magic. You finally get to hear it. Bomb number 2, that makes you the Scarlet Witch. Crazy. So look, chaos magic comes from Chthon. He used chaos magic in the comics when he was ruling Earth, and he's the one that wrote the book, The Darkhold, which we think is in WandaVision right now. At least I do. And he originally, before going to another dimension, he wrote the Darkhold on flesh. That's how gangster he was. He wrote it on flesh. Somebody took teachings of the Darkhold and made it in book form, and then you have the Darkhold, and he is elder god who is evil. In the comics, when Wanda was born, he had touched her and gave her the chaos magic, the chaos powers to that she has, basically. You know, and that gave her the powers, and also was a vessel that he can come back to our reality. So you guys gonna have to pay attention to the next episode, because he might be involved, and he might be trying to get back to this reality. And Agatha, probably knowing this, may want him stopped. She may want him stopped, man. She said he was supposed to be a myth. See, the Darkhold, and even in the comics, was supposed, like, people, the chaos magic was it wasn't real. Like, people, even Doctor Strange thought the chaos magic wasn't real. So they just eliminated that possibility that chaos magic even existed until it was proven. And Wanda being the Nexus being able to use chaos magic, being a mutant, like, she's insane. She's OP on a whole nother level. Agatha now feels like she's like Wanda's the threat, and she has to be stopped. So this next episode is going to be amazing. What's crazy about the episode though is the White Vision. The White Vision, the big credit scene. That shows you that Sword and Director Taylor, they were looking for a power source. So he was talking about they put Vision and put them together so many times and couldn't get it right, and now they finally do. And I mean, I'm just shocked to see White Vision on the screen in live action, man. It is insane. I just, my mind is blown. And this Vision is soulless. He doesn't have his memories. He's just a whole new person. So maybe we get a battle between the Visions, and which is cool. Like I would love to see it. It's everything's lining up. You got Monica Rambeau and Pietro, who could still be the Fox X-Men's universe Quicksilver. Like, he could still be him. Don't rule that out. Agatha Harkness showed that she possessed Evan Peters, right? But she didn't say where he came from. He didn't say who he was. So don't rule that out. But we got Monica Rambeau, Evan Peters, Quicksilver. We got the Vision, the potential for a Vision battle. Darcy's gonna drive up there at some point. This is the kids. I mean, we seen the picture during the week where the family's gonna have to fight something, whether it's Agatha or something else. So this is going to be an epic ending. There's a lot of things that we need cleared up before the show is over, and hopefully we get it. I mean, it's definitely going to be a longer episode than any episode that we have. How long? They're saying 50 minutes. You can't really believe it. We get reports all the time, and it's always something different than these supposedly reported information about the runtime. So let's just watch it. All right, hopefully we can tie these loose ends, and get the answers to the questions that we're looking for. But this show has been like damn near perfection. So I'm gonna trust in Kevin Feige and the MCU to deliver us the ending that we all want and deserve, or maybe not what, but the one that we deserve. Because I'm sure people want different endings. This won't end happily though. There's no way. So be prepared. I think it's gonna be sad. Wanda, through the whole MCU, has been doing with nothing but grief. I don't see that changing one bit, and I am looking for them kids to be I don't know, Mephisto gets them. I think so. I think he's coming for those kids. I think so. I'm still holding out hope, because that'll be a great drawback to the comics, that we didn't see Mephisto the whole series, and then he comes and gets those kids before Wanda can take them or get them after the hex or get them out the hex. So again, just a little recap for you guys that if you didn't understand what was going on, hopefully this helps you and educates you a little bit on what's going on into episode 9. That is going to be an epic ending. Make sure you guys subscribe to the Agents of Nerdz YouTube channel, and get ready for episode 9, man. All right, just get ready. It's gonna be crazy. Agents of Nerdz, subscribe, like, and share the video, and we'll see you soon.